Hi guys, this is Shnikwu with Techniks. So today my husband and I is doing a mukbang or mukbang, whichever one it is. So we're having today, we went to Pappadeaux.
Right, so we got fried catfish, shrimp, and then I think some stuffed crab, and there's a crab cake, and then obviously some bread and stuff. So that's it.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, so I'm usually a pretty messy eater, so I don't know about people seeing me eating.
You'll be okay, honey.
I love these shrimp. They're really good.
So I was talking to my husband and I was, wanted to see if maybe he wanted to go over a few topics. One of those topics, basically police brutality, right?
I'm against it.
Of course, should be.
No, but obviously it's a very serious topic, and it's a topic that's been, this country's been dealing with for decades, centuries, basically. So it's just sad that we haven't progressed at all as a society, and we're still dealing with the same issues that people were dealing with in the 40s and 50s and 60s in a lot of cases. So it's just it's sad, and I'm hoping that the momentum that the George Floyd situation has caused, in the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm hoping that continues, and I'm hoping that there'll be some real change that'll come out of it.
But this is the problem, though. It started way before the George Floyd.
Oh, of course it did. Of course it did.
And it's still happening.
Yeah.
And as we speak after that, it's still happening. So, yeah, it's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
And which caused a lot of, because I think there was a lot of damage downtown, because I have a coworker, she lives down there, and there was a lot of damages, and which was really ridiculous. And you had stated before that some of those people that was causing all those problems was just adding on to the issues. You know what I mean? It was just
all right. These are pretty in-depth issues to have over a mukbang, but yeah, I mean there was when there was some of the protests, the vast majority, like 99% of people out there were actually peaceful protesters, and then you had a small group that were basically infiltrating, that were ransacking stores and causing mayhem and whatnot. But most of the protesters were just peacefully demonstrating their right to be heard and to show their frustration for what's been going on. So I just think that a lot of times the conversation would get twisted and really focus on people that were looting stores when really it was there's a bigger issue that's been going on, and that's almost like detracting from that.
okay. So again, your president.
Well, I didn't vote for him.
Well, I didn't either, but that's beside the point.
That's true.
I think that if we had a better leader, that would have helped, don't you? Don't you think so?
Well, any other leader definitely couldn't do worse, so yes.
I agree.
I would say that he is the pretty much the title holder for worst president in history, which is a pretty big title to hold.
And I hope that we're not offending anyone. We all have our opinions. Ain't true enough. So I just hope that we're not, offending anyone. So
It's just when it comes to Trump, it's hard for me to just say, "Oh, gee, I wish he was doing a better job," because it's, he is so polarizing and so over the top, and acts like such a, sometimes even like such a just a bully. And also so uninformed about a lot of the issues. And so it's hard to speak to Trump about Trump in just a casual way. I mean, he elicits a really emotional response with most people.
But you also told me today that, which makes sense, he was not a good business owner, right?
No, he was a failed businessman multiple times.
So how would he succeed as running a country?
Well, because apparently he was a reality star. So apparently him doing work with The Apprentice made him qualified to run the nation.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just, if you look at his history as a businessman, he was ridiculous. I mean, he, from Trump University to, well, I mean, I don't want to spend this whole thing talking about Trump, but just, I mean, the guy was really not as successful as the Trump name leads you to believe. And so it's just, I just think a lot of the country was really duped into voting for the guy when he really wasn't qualified, and just, I don't know. It's been 4 years of just complete chaos and mayhem. And, but hey, let's sign up for 4 more, right? I mean, why don't we just keep that train going?
Okay. So we better get off that topic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of
We don't want
politics.
Trump to come knocking on our door. So let's move on to something else.
What are we moving on to?
I don't know. First of all, this fish is so good. It's good, isn't it?
How good is it?
Real good.
Real good.
Real good.
I haven't had the fish yet. I've been grinding through this shrimp.
That's good too.
Mm-hmm.
So any other thing that you would like to talk about?
I don't know. I made some pretty good street tacos earlier today. They were pretty good with some like shredded pork.
Which was really good.
Yeah, which kind of begs the question, why are we grubbing again? But
Well,
we like to eat. That's fine.
that's right. We like to eat. Mm.
I don't know. There was some other stuff we were going to talk about.
So, you think we should get another check?
I think the country needs that. I think from what I saw, I think it was somewhere in the order of like 12 million people would be evicted from their homes if there's not another check that comes. I think within like the next 30 days.
Well, I think we need it, and hopefully that's something that they will pass. And what's your input on the corona? Do you think that this is going to be we're going to go all the way to 2021?
I mean, I think it'll still be around in some form in 2021. I don't know if it'll be as bad as it is now. I just think it's crazy when you look at all the countries in the world. Let me get some of these fries before they get cold. When you look at all the countries in the world, the United States is far and away has the most cases and the most deaths. And that's crazy to me for, how we consider ourselves to be the leading nation in the world in so many aspects. Then why the heck can't we control this disease? I mean, I know a lot of that probably has to do with the freedoms that Americans have, and hey, we're able to travel wherever we want and all those kind of things, and that's definitely something that we all enjoy. But damn, I mean, you're even talking about China where this disease started. I mean, hell, we probably got 20 times as many cases and deaths as they do.
Do you think it's going to be sort of like the Spanish flu?
Well, yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Or the plague?
Well, it better not be like the plague, because that was a third of Europe died from the plague, so
yeah.
It better not be. Yeah, the thing with this disease is it's not as deadly as some other diseases, but damn, it is so contagious.
Yeah, it is.
So you don't see like 25% of people that are getting it are dying, but God, there's a lot of people getting it.
But I think the problem is people are walking around with not having any symptoms. So, and then you have those people that are not wearing masks. So that's the problem. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And a lot of people don't feel like with this. Matter of fact, I was out and I was in my scrubs the other day. And this guy said to me, he said, "Do you think this is a conspiracy?" And I'm looking at him like, dude, are you not looking at the news? This is not a conspiracy. This is real life issues that are happening. People are dropping like flies, and that is a problem, a huge problem. So I could not believe that he would actually ask me that.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of people that believe that there's all kinds of conspiracies in the world, you know?
But baby, this is not like your typical Bigfoot or I saw an alien type of thing. You know what I mean? Or you looked up in the sky and you saw a UFO. I mean, that is insane to me.
But I think there's a lot of people where they haven't been personally affected by corona at this point. Nobody in their family has gotten it.
I agree.
And especially if you're talking about, like, let's say, like a small business owner or somebody who's lost their job. I mean, there's going to be a lot of resentment towards what's going on, and they want to get back to work. So, I mean, I can understand, you know, maybe people tending to not take it as seriously. But hell, you got people that think that the Holocaust didn't happen, or man didn't land on the moon, or, you know, all kinds of crap. So there's always conspiracies about everything.
I was just amazed at that whole concept of him asking me that. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, we crushed those shrimp, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, honey.
I'm gonna try that. Is that stuffed crab?
Yes, it is. It's
I haven't had any of the fish.
Well, I mean,
yet.
it's really good. I think the last time we went to Pappadeaux, I wasn't too fond of it, but either I'm hungry or this is some good stuff.
Combination of the two, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you something. We went to the grocery store one day. I was telling them about that.
God.
And it was funny. Well, it wasn't funny because I like to say, "Hey, sweetie, honey, sugar
people you don't
plum,"
know.
to people I don't know, and that's something that he don't like for me to do. But that's just the way I am, right? So I was talking to this guy, and and I was just conversating and everything. And what did he say?
You said something about grinding hamburger meat while you're effing with the devil.
And Steven grabbed me and said, there's something wrong with him. I thought I was, and like I said, I didn't think anything of it, but when I really thought that, hey, this man was really serious about the devil, and he was talking about ground meat. What's he talking about, ground meat?
I don't know.
Something? It was insane.
I don't know what ground meat has to do with the devil, but...
And then there was a situation when we went through Mississippi, right?
Well, that's usually an unfortunate thing when you're going through Mississippi.
You gonna tell them the story?
Nothing against anyone who's living in Mississippi, but it's just, I was born in Alabama, and it just seems like those two states are really struggling to get into the 21st century. But, we were driving, so I have relatives in Alabama, so we were traveling from Texas to Alabama, so we stopped off at Mississippi, and when you get into Mississippi and Alabama, there's a hamburger chain called Crystal's Hamburgers. They're like little square hamburgers. They almost look like White Castle burgers, if you know what that is. So I was kind of wanting to... What are you doing?
I'm smelling it.
You just dropped something in your lap.
I know. I just wanted to.
I mean, it's not roadkill. I mean, we paid for this.
I know, baby, but I've never eaten.
Yeah, like you checking to see if it's dead first. Man. Oh, we've been watching the TV show Alone.
Oh, so, yeah. That's another thing I want to tell you about. Well, go ahead and finish the story.
Oh, yeah. So we stopped by. So I kept telling her about this Crystal's Hamburgers. So we stopped by it, and I ordered maybe like 4 or 5 of those little square hamburgers. They're pretty small. And then when we get up to the window, There's a black kid, like teenager, maybe 18, 19, staring at us like just, I mean, it would have been the same as if like a UFO flew up with like two purple people, like, you know, sitting in the UFO. And he starts motioning some other people to come over. So then we got like 3 or 4 teenage black kids that are working there, all staring at us like this is the craziest thing they've ever seen in their lives.
I looked in the back to see if there was something back there or what was going on, but I mean, I just never experienced that before. I mean, you know, we've had people look at us and stare at us, and we've experienced that. But I mean, to call somebody over to say, "Hey, look at," you know. So at this point, I was afraid to eat food, you know, because you never know. You don't know, you know, how mean people can be, and so it was very. I just never seen anything like that before. I mean, I've had people stare. I've even had people, you know, walk through the grocery store and just watch us from aisle to aisle. But like going through a drive-through and experiencing that, I've never.
Usually, it's older folks because you know, obviously they're from another time, right? So they're not probably as used.
Which is understandable, right? Because and his grandmother, you know, was older, and I think she was like what, 90?
Well, when she passed, she was 99.
Yeah, and so when I went over there, right, there was a time where when we went down there, she was so sweet, and she would always say to me, you know, how pretty of a color girl I am. Now, you know, I would never want anyone to say that to me, but you know, when it was his grandmother, she didn't mean any harm.
She didn't.
Yeah, she was really a sweet woman. And I remember one time when we went over there, and my honey, she had fried us some eggs.
Oh yeah, cooked some eggs.
Yeah. And so what happened?
Well, so she tried to cook some scrambled eggs, and they were kind of just this side of raw. Like, I guess she didn't put them in the pan for near long enough. And she's probably in her early mid-90s at this point, still living by herself. So she puts it on the plate, and then we're sitting there, and then she's staring at me, and I'm staring back at her, because with my grandmother, I mean, she's kind of like the matriarch of the family. You know, like I would never swear around her. I would still call her ma'am. She would take me back to like a time in which I was still a kid almost. So I'm staring at her like, you better eat these damn eggs. And they're just, like I said, just barely past raw.
Yeah, they were raw. That's like you just smacked the egg and opened it and then put it on the plate. And I don't eat that. I wasn't on any kind of diet, so I wasn't gonna put that in a cup and swallow that. I wasn't gonna do it. So he's making me, literally looking at me on the other side of the table, telling me, eat it. Her back is turned. I'm like, I cannot eat this. He's like, that's my grandmother. You're gonna insult her. And I'm like, dude, I cannot eat this. So what I did was I dumped them red eggs on his plate. He ate every bit of it.
Hell yeah. I would have asked her more if she said to.
Oh, honey.
But hey, that's my grandmother, though.
I know, baby, and I get that. But I just want people to think that not everyone, I think in their decade where they called, you know, colored, like when she called me a color girl, I didn't get offended. I mean, and let me tell you why. It's because when I went over there, she was so sweet and kind. And that was in our era, okay? But if you're having someone who's not in the era and they calling you that, then that's a problem. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree, because I mean, she definitely didn't mean anything towards it. She was just using the wrong terminology. Dude, I'm grubbing. This is good as hell right here.
Well, then why don't you just take the whole thing?
Well, you don't want any?
You was talking about me. You just put it on your plate.
Well, shit, you talking, I'm eating.
And then you was gonna tell them about Alone. This show is a series. No, it's a
TV show.
It's a TV show. It's called Alone. You guys have got to watch it.
I mean, I would think most people have, though. It's pretty popular.
No, but I've asked many people, have they ever seen it? They don't even know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, tell them what it is.
Okay, so you can explain it better than I can. Would you put that bread down and explain to them what alone is?
Well, this is a mukbang. I'm supposed to be able to do both at the same time.
Well, okay, well, tell him.
Ooh, I have to belch. Ooh.
Baby.
So I mean, basically, you get a list of I think it's like 10 items that you can take with you into a remote area, and you are, just like the title says, alone. So you're just by yourself in the woods.
Or they do have a series where it's either two sisters, two brothers, or husband and wife. They do have that, where it's a couple. Which I would think it would be better as a couple than doing it by yourself.
Wouldn't be if me.
But then you would have to. Why is that?
You'd be riding my backside the whole time.
Yeah, you would, because you would have to go out there and catch us some fish. Because I know I'm not going to do it.
I'd try to get on Uber Eats.
Baby, really? Oh, you gonna tell them? Explain, honey.
Okay, so it's basically, I think they have they're on the 7th season right now. So basically, you get dropped off. I think a lot of times by boat or helicopter, remote location, and it's basically, and you have a camera, so you're able to kind of film yourself as you're doing different things, and it's just who can stay out in the woods the longest. And you have to build a shelter. You have to figure out how to feed yourself. You have to make sure that you don't get injured. You have to make sure that the shelter you built, you don't catch on fire, which multiple people have done. And it's a really interesting show. It's just interesting to see the people with the different survival backgrounds and kind of their approach to it.
Yeah, so, it really is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're eating grub. They're eating plants. They're eating insects, boars. I mean, anything they can find, they're eating.
Well, it's better than starving.
Yeah, but I wouldn't eat grubs. I'm sorry. But then again, you know what? We all say what we wouldn't do if we were out there. But if it came right down to it, I'm pretty sure you'll eat anything you possibly can.
You've eaten a slug souffle.
Yeah, putting between two tree leaves and making a sandwich, I'm pretty sure. But hey, because we all say what we wouldn't do, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's just interesting. It's an interesting show. So we're almost done here, bud.
I was hungry.
Yeah, I know, but you're full?
I'm getting there.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this down because we're pretty much almost done. And we have enjoyed talking to you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed this whole mukbang and giving our input on life itself. So we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.